Sander and Ismini, you haven't been exhibiting in A-Gallery before, I think. So maybe we should start from introducing you. So who are you? Where do you come from? And why are you here?
Okay, I'm Ismini. I come from Greece. Why am I here in Estonia or in A-Gallery? You mean?
Both. Probably we will do even more your background mapping, so don't worry about that.
Okay, so basically I came here in Estonia to do my master in jewelry in Estonian Academy of Arts, and currently I'm working as an artist and educator, and it is actually my first exhibition other than my master thesis, so we decided to exhibit it together because we I don't know, sorry, I mess up, I don't know what to say, sorry.
No worries, I will reach also to that moment why you are doing it together. So anyway, you're doing it together on this window. So, but Sander, you are speaking English just because we could all understand each other, but you are from Estonia.
Yes, from south.
How far south?
From pretty south, from a little town called Põlva. I'm from, yeah, but gradually I've kind of, as most of Estonians, moved to Tallinn. I came also here to do some studying in the Estonian Academy of Arts to do my master's, and I came for 2 years and I've stayed now for 5, 6 and staying more apparently.
But you also had a Tartu period in your life.
A long Tartu period, yeah, long Tartu period. I was studying there and in the high school and also in the Pallas, now Pallas. Previously it was Tartu Higher Art Academy. And then after that, I just basically lived there for pretty many years.
Okay, and also Ismini, you probably didn't come to masters straight from high school. So what did you do in Greece before, and why did you choose Estonia to be your next target?
So my bachelor studies are more theoretical. I had studied philosophy, pedagogy and psychology, and for some time I have been working as a special education teacher in Greece, but later on I started thinking that I would like to explore a little bit what can I do with my hands. I started taking some jewelry classes in a school in Greece. I studied for some time sculpture, and then I started working as a jewelry artist in Greece. But there was a certain point that I felt that I would like to learn more, and we don't know many things in Greece about Estonia, but it happened that my back then jewelry teacher had seen the works from the school. It is quite uncommon in Greece to see like more works that use iron. So because of the blacksmithing department, it is quite interesting for me to see and then to learn. And one step brought the other. I applied, and here I am after 5 years.
Okay, and blacksmithing also for you, Sander, was not the first thing you did. I think you did sculpture.
Yeah, I studied sculpture in Tartu Arts Academy.
Okay, and how sculpture formed into blacksmithing? Why blacksmithing?
It was also kind of like how my life goes somehow. That never thought about it there. But then there is basically I had a call or a teacher in the school in the Tartu Academy gave a class of forging, and he was a very good designer, very good blacksmith. He was most of all a good designer, I would say, and he did it somehow differently than what I had seen earlier about blacksmithing or forging. And he asked me that, do you want to come and help me? I thought that why the hell not? And I stayed at his workshop for 5 years almost. Yeah, probably yeah, because he was doing things somehow differently. The forgings looked cool somehow nice, and I wanted to understand how he manages to see the material and the forms and the ratios the way that he sees, and also the techniques he had were very good, and I wasn't able to do it in the beginning, and that what drove me also, that I was kind of clumsy, and I wasn't good at it, so I was like, oh, come on, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna try it. Yeah, well, anyway.
And then when you came to EKA, then usually EKA is not remembered with good words among traditional blacksmiths, because usually it's seen as something where people are in Estonian taavad kõngerjõnks making some crap, fucking up iron instead of doing good design. So why did you decide to challenge yourself in this direction instead of going to, in example, Germany, where you have a really long history of artist blacksmithing and also doing proper blacksmithing design?
In a way, no, the idea of being very good technically has been kind of the basis of everything in forging to me. But this is only the basis. This is something that without it, I think I would not consider myself at all a blacksmith. I would maybe call myself, I don't know, metal artist or something. But above that is the interesting part, the design, the concepts, the ideas. EKA kind of delivers that to me, or I saw that this can somehow twist my mind again for a little bit, not to get stuck in the execution so much, but also kind of get some fresh ideas, and yeah, the opposition that I got from the EKA side, in the way, not EKA people, but of what I'd seen that was done in EKA was somehow kind of intriguing to me, that I wanted to oppose to that also in a way. So I kind of dived into it and got a sense what's going on, and I'm pretty happy that this happened also.
And also in jewelry, porcelain is not the most common material, as it's kind of fragile, especially this kind of hollow, quite thin-walled pieces. So as I saw myself your development, then for me it's actually quite intriguing how did you find porcelain for yourself. So can you a little bit describe also for the listeners, how did you find your way to porcelain, and how did it help you to find your own signature handwriting?
I'm quite, let's say, new in working with porcelain, meaning that I have been only working the last 3 years with this material. It all started while I was doing my master thesis. Back then I was mainly focused in more like bigger objects and like bodily objects, I would say. And later on, after this finished, I already felt that this material is not the end for me. I felt actually comfortable using it, and despite what all ceramists told me when I started, that I would hate it, or it is so difficult material, or even spoiled, I feel I'm not afraid of it. Of course, it is quite difficult to find how to use it, and it takes time, but I actually love, first of all the forms that I can make with this material, and at the same time, I love that it really needs time. It demands actually to spend lots of time exploring it, and this is for me totally different than the metal. I'm not in very good terms with metal, so maybe also that's why this material kind of saw me its way, and I felt, okay, this is how I would like to continue. I like the color of it, I like that I can play with the thicknesses, I like these more organic forms that I can shape it somehow, but from object to jewelry, it had been not difficult, but interesting. All the tryouts and fails, and I don't think that I'm there yet actually. So it was a challenge to me how to combine these two materials. I'm quite satisfied for thinking that, you know, I haven't done this before, but I still think that it's a long way to go and many things to learn. But overall, I don't know if it is my Greek background or the fact that I'm living here, and in the winter I feel that everything is black and white. So the white material also reminds me of snow in the winter, and all these forms that the snow gets throughout the time, and it is inspiring to me. So I don't know if this is the answer, but this is probably how I feel about the material itself.
And also those soft forms are quite intriguingly linked to Estonian loneliness. So also shape-wise, those shapes that I can see on the window are similar to the shapes that you did for your graduation piece. Even though they're much smaller and much more wearable, then maybe you can explain shape-wise, how did you find those shapes? And why this kind of soft, comfortable, more approachable shapes? It's not very violent, it's not sharp corners, it's not spiky.
I will speak more as a person than, I mean, not from artistic point of view, that in everyday life I feel that mainly you feel uncomfortable, or I maybe feel uncomfortable for all the things that I have to do. And the last thing that I want to do while I'm doing some artwork is feeling myself uncomfortable. And I feel that what interests me overall is somehow to create this feeling of maybe security or something that soothes the eye, but also the hand. And these shapes somehow, first of all, make me feel calmer and safer. And it started all during winter, that, as you said, Estonian winter is quite lonely, and I do feel myself like this. So through this process of being alone basically with the material, I need something to soothe me first of all, and I feel something to connect when I feel lonely. And at the same time, I am always interested in creating this kind of feeling of comfort in my work. And I like that people that see the work and being able to touch the work feel somehow this comfort. So I don't like sharp corners, and I don't like strict shapes, not to see, but I don't like to make them. So they don't soothe my soul, they don't help me like move further. Whereas the softer forms, I feel something very familiar, something very, I don't know, it feels like home in a way, in my heart. So I think that, and at the same time, you know, during winter when I was trying to find what inspires me, I started like taking pictures. I think I mentioned this already, of the snow in different stages, and this is something new for me, even though I'm here already 5 years, that there are all these little organic shapes that come from when the snow falls, and during if it falls in another material, and all these like stages before it melts, and all this is quite new for me and interesting, and it also calms me down and brings me a little bit somewhere else. It gives me this light. So I think that this is the reason behind this.
So, and usually when people speak about iron, then they use words that I almost never use. Usually they say that it's cold and heavy and strong, and for me iron is much more similar to the plasticity and softness of your porcelain than the way how people usually describe it. So that's how I try to make a link now with Sander's pieces. How do you feel about iron? Because I think among all not only blacksmiths, but people who express themselves through blacksmithing, iron is never cold and uncomfortable.
It is uncomfortable when you have to lift it, a lot of it, for example. If you have to make, I don't know, a gate or a fence and fit it in a very tight spot, it is of course uncomfortable, you know. And it's cold also when you touch it. It's undeniably cold. It is not soft material, but to say that it is unmalleable or somehow harsh, this is where I absolutely agree with you. It's not. It is really forgiving. It is a really it's a really nice material, very good looking material. I would say, but it's also very, very forgiving material. These days you can do so many, I don't know, mistakes or so many interesting shapes, whatever you want to. Iron is really soft and really nice. Nothing bad about it.
So you don't feel that porcelain and iron are kind of opposites, that you're trying to fit together something opposite, something in contrast?
No. I think porcelain is fragile. That's for sure. But no, and iron isn't fragile. Iron is steel is fragile sometimes. It could be very fragile, but iron, or this kind of regular construction iron, I would say it's kind of a dummy actually. It's soft and nice. Well, maybe the hard part is that it's heavy and it's sometimes, I don't know, if you want to work with it when it's cold, it means that when you haven't heated up, then you have to kind of file and drilling, and this kind of stuff, technical stuff, might be pretty annoying. Or if you don't know it, it's of course difficult. But if you know a little bit about it, then it has its limits, and if you know the limits, you're absolutely okay with it. If you're pushing those limits, then some interesting stuff happens, of course, and you can get some cool results from that too.
Yeah, I really like the outcome of your design that you made together. I have, though, seen several exhibitions which are made by couples, and I have seen a lot of very bad collections and very bad exhibitions which have been done by couples, because usually when a couple creates an exhibition, then they make it because they like each other, not because their techniques go together or their ideas go together, and then they somehow, just based on their daily love, try to fit their things together. How did you manage to fit those things together in your relationship? How those things start to fit together? Because for me, they actually fit together. It's not just that you didn't want to take a dog, and then instead of having a dog, you wanted to make together a series of jewelry pieces.
Do you want or can I? Or
Yes, if you want.
The idea came from Ismini, and I agreed. It wasn't because I like her so much. Yes, of course that. But it was in a very, very dark time of the year, and no, she, no, as a joke I can tell you that no, but it's not true. But that, you know, it was mercy. Like I can't see you so unhappy. Yeah, in a way. But to be honest, she almost pushed me to do it, which is really great, because I wouldn't have done it otherwise. I haven't done any exhibition under my own name ever in 20 years of doing art, never. And I never felt like I wanted to do or I had to do, but she pushed me to do it in a good way, and I agreed. But I think that the way that we worked was the really good part about it, because we almost never deliberately intruded to other person's work, that you should do that or you should do that. There were a few little tips and kind of pointers that we gave each other. We helped each other like physically a little bit here and there, but not conceptually. I think that at least I didn't feel like she was kind of, no. We had some few conversations about it, that hey, maybe we do this, that, and that, but then it was kind of like, okay, you do your stuff, I do my stuff. It will come together somehow, definitely. And no, for me, it was the really cool part about it. I think
So Ismini, do you feel the same way, or you have another kind of
Point of view?
Yes.
Well, it was my idea, but not so much actually, because we're a couple, but because I'm always interested like to work with other people in, let's say, similar idea or develop a work together. So personally for me it was, let's say, motive, to have a deadline and, you know, start a new work, and at the same time, when you collaborate, it's always somehow, I don't know, you learn many things about yourself and the other person. So these two people and these two different ways of working are totally different. I work slow, experiment a lot, make tryouts, and Sander is fast. And it's difficult for me to deal with, months passing and not seeing work from him, let's say, but he has been working a lot in drawing and thinking, which is not the way I work at all. So I, let's say, have an idea and I start experimenting with the material. And it was interesting to see, first of all, like combining or seeing a totally different way of working, because I have not have experience with iron at all. I do appreciate it, I like it, but I'm afraid of it. So whatever has to do with blacksmithing, for me, I like to see, but it kind of scares me. And at the same time, I learned a lot, like to step back a little bit, to, I don't know, let the things go as they are. We actually worked, let's say, took our time and developed our works not together. So each one of us had their own, time and the space to develop what he felt like. And then at some point, it kind of felt to me, I don't know if it felt to you also actually, that I do the inside, let's say solid, and Sander somehow makes the outside, describes and makes this object stronger by, let's say, making the outside structure of it. And we didn't plan so much to make, let's say, one final work together. I wanted it from the beginning to somehow collaborate, but it really happened at the very last moment. And
I think we had the idea came in the last 5 days or something that we put something together also. It's like Ismini was always like, yeah, do we do a collaborative piece also? And I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, it will come. And then she's like, do we do it? I said, yeah, sure. And yeah. And then I think I had some pieces, some kind of like, no. I made it's almost like a Lego. That I made some Lego pieces and then I put them on the table and forgot them for a couple of weeks even or months because I didn't know what to do with them. But I knew that these Legos will come together into something. And then they are on the table and then Ismini comes with her piece and puts it in the middle. And then, yes, that's it. We do it. There was a couple of guys it was in the forge, I think, in the smithy. There were a couple of guys in the workshop at the same time. He said, "Hey, come here." Yeah. Mm-hmm. And the other guy, yes, that's it. It's like this is I don't know. This was my way to decide things. Ismini had to probably adjust more than me because no.
And trust you my work actually because there were several things that needed to be done in porcelain that I was not confident at all. So it was a risk, but it actually worked at the end.
Yeah, but I think that it wasn't. I didn't feel like there is a shadow of Ismini on top of me and saying that you should do this way or that way, or I didn't want to push her also.
That's good.
Well, you pushed me time-wise, but not to say creatively. I didn't feel like it. We had few creative discussions, but not actually too many. I would say that it was more like, do you like this one? I think that this is kind of that one. Yeah, or this is not so. You kind of like this. So it wasn't like we sat on the desk and this is our concept. No.
Yeah, I listened one interview of singer and songwriter Kimya Dawson, and she made a collaboration with one rap artist. Kimya Dawson is an indie song writer, and she said that it was really weird because this rap artist wanted every single word to be very punctured, very on the right spot, and she as an indie musician usually never, when she's making an album, usually never plays one song twice to get a better version. Usually every song that she puts on the album is the first one that she played in when she went to the studio. So I would actually like to ask, how do you collect your ideas and how those things come together? There are so many different ways. Some people are doing a lot of sketches. Some of them don't draw at all, but only write things down. Some of them never draws a single line, but just combines things. So what are the ways you get from point A to point Z or point O or wherever you want to reach? How is your creative process looking like?
Shall I start?
Yeah.
Usually I start with an idea that, let's say, I'm more theoretical, so I write down my thoughts and whatever inspires me somehow, and I try then to think of it as a shape. I don't know, let's say in the beginning anything about it. I don't sketch so much. I cannot find out solutions through sketching, or maybe I don't like actually to predetermine what is going to be, and especially when it we speak about clay and, you know, soft material, I follow the process. I start with thinking about, you know, what I would like to say and how this might look. And then I start experimenting, and I'm starting playing with shapes that somehow, you know, inspire me, or, as I told you before, take pictures of maybe shapes in the nature or forms that somehow I feel something, some connection that maybe in the beginning I don't even know what and how it will be if I wanted to translate in a 3D shape. But I mainly work with the material. I spend time with it. I just try to understand it, especially, as I said about porcelain, I'm not so experienced with it, so I still feel that it is, you know, a new relationship, that somehow I get to know all the good and the bad things, and, you know, step down a little bit if I'm overdoing it, or give the time that is needed and be patient and accept the fail. And then I like to work with repetition. So usually if I find one shape interesting, I try to repeat it and try to then put them together and see if the combination is somehow interesting. Of course, when I need to finalize the pieces, I need to sketch a little bit to find, you know, technical solutions and so on. But mainly I work with the material, and this is the process, and write at the same time thoughts and ideas that might come. And this is how I keep my creative, let's say, journey down, written.
Yeah, and you said that because of the background in theory, you quite a lot verbalize what you want to reach for. With this exhibition also, did you have some kind of verbal construction before you start to experiment with the shapes? So how did it come? How do you put theory together with physical objects? Is the theory first, and then based on theory you try to find shapes which are somehow having the feeling that this idea wants to express, or you just experiment with the shapes and try to then verbalize what it delivers?
In this work, I actually had this feeling after my master thesis that the work that I delivered it didn't end, that I would still like to continue with this idea of caring and these body objects that are somehow, you know, related and make this feeling of comfort. But of course my background is more in jewelry, so I would like to see if this demanding material and material from hell that everyone says and so on, if I can actually make an object that it is somehow dimension wise and it can be placed on the body and still function. So it's not exactly the same idea, but I felt that I would like to continue it with this making comfort to myself and to people that somehow sense the work. But at the same time, of course, it has been like 2 years already after that, so I have been collecting thoughts and writing down, you know, what I would like to be my next steps, and mainly writing my feelings, not as a diary, but more, you know, thinking how to translate feelings in shapes. And since this is the place that I live and I'm part of this place in the earth that, as you know, it has this extreme black and white time of the year, I also need somehow to, I don't know, express how I feel in this place and express a little bit what I need. And definitely during winter I need comfort and I need to feel safe and I need to feel that there is a space that I can feel light, and this is how altogether the shapes and the ideas I feel come together, if I answer to your question.
Yeah, when you said that you need to feel the space, then Sander right now is studying architecture, and space is also one of the key words of architecture. So human-sized space is probably one of the zeitgeist of architecture right now. When Ismini wanted her jewelry to be wearable, then usually people want architecture to be touchable, livable, enjoyable. They expect from architecture the same values that Ismini was trying to put into her jewelry. Do you agree? And also the same question, how do you think when you create? Because also you have a lot of engineering in your works.
Which is the first question? That
You can decide which one. But maybe we forget the first one, the comfortable architecture and comfortable jewelry.
I have no idea about that, really. It is whatever somebody chooses. There are so many ways to see probably space and jewelry that this is. I don't think that there is right or wrong, or there can't be probably, or maybe there can be, but I'm not getting into that because I don't even think that it is important, to be honest. But the way I think that I also start with at least some sort of vague idea, maybe that on this certain occasion it was the idea that inside this, also as Ismini said, that this stupid, uncomfortable, unpleasant daily life, when everything, 90% of it is actually something that you don't want to do, but you have to do. Inside there is something, always something nice, or at least you have to find it, otherwise you go crazy, or you're just mean, sad, lousy person. I mean, the more we laugh, the better our life is. The more we find comfort, the better, and this is our job. We can't be lazy about that. So we have to find some sort of soft spots. This was maybe the first thought about drive about it. Then I think I found one motive, to be honest. I found one good motive that represents it, and from there on, it's like to find ways to use this motive. Yeah, and since the discourse that I was doing, or the topic was jewelry, then I had to find something that is at least somehow, but I could put it in the body. I didn't think about the weight that much, but a little bit about the sizes and how it can fit, and also probably, I don't know, is it either conscious or unconsciously? I probably make decisions that I can execute within the time that I'm given, and probably I choose the solutions that I find somehow pleasant to me, and are also harmonious to me, or something. Yeah, basically easiest that. And if I don't write down too much, I don't verbalize too much the stuffs, because maybe either I'm lazy, or I think that this is too much for me to even. I don't want to speak la 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 la. For me, it's like I don't need it. It's okay if people do it, but I'm lazy to read. If I read, I want to read it. I want to read a good sentence also. I don't want to read 10 bad sentences in a row or fancy words. I want to read a good sentence, a sentence that is short, sharp, and absolutely on point. this is a good design to me. A good sentence is a good design also. So I don't verbalize that much. But with the works, if I'm kind of stuck, then I work on the stuff that I can work at the same time. If there is a piece, let's say, I don't know, this neck piece, if I'm not absolutely sure how I will connect the pieces, I will do something else on this. And I want to keep my hands going at all times because time is short. And in the end, if there are loose ends, they will come together. They will always come together. I trust it because a good design needs to be simplified to the point where you know that I can actually do it in this short time. This is also, I think this is part of good design, that you can execute it cleanly, purely within short time. And for that, you might have to wait. You might have to work on some other stuff in order to execute it in the end nicely. No, that's my thought process, maybe. Very practical.
What is right now important for you in your artistic career? What are the things you're doing? And what are the next places, next occasions where we can see what you have been doing? Are there some also, in general, bigger topics which are bothering you next to everyday deadlines? And also you can mention some everyday deadlines because then usually something visible comes out.
Actually, I don't know what is next at the moment because I think for me, I work as an educator in the morning, and this occupies lots of my time. And this work was almost a year that I have been working on it. So at the moment, I need a little break from everything. I have, of course, ideas. What are the next steps? I would like to maybe improve my techniques and put more in practice what I learned from this work, but there are many things that I would like to work on because still it is a new thing for me, combining silver with porcelain, and I feel that there are many steps that I was, I don't know, either lucky or just wasn't afraid of, but still I would like to see different ways maybe of combining these two materials in a way that it is functional. I don't have at the moment plans for another exhibition or, in the near future, because this was the biggest project that I had. But of course I would like to continue working and just see how things go. I don't want to put so many, deadlines and say that I will do this, that and the other, but I would like to somehow maybe establish myself here as an artist, that I'm here, I'm living here, I'm not going to Greece, so I would like to, be considered as part of the Estonian art and somehow, starting maybe also collaborating with other artists, I find interesting actually collaborations, and I would like to, it's always intriguing for me to work with different disciplines and see what comes next, and just, I don't know, let it seem where it goes.
So you need to start preparing for the next winter. As you said, that there is some need for hibernation. You mentioned that this series also in a way started from the fact that some shapes and ideas kept haunting you from your master thesis. So did you, I don't know, solved the problems that were bothering you or solved the ideas that were unthought? Or is there still something that bothers you, that forces you to take another batch of porcelain?
It's not exactly something that bothers me. It's more like I don't know where does this come from, all this need for, soothe and care and like expressing this or making these nice feelings for me and for other people. It has been always actually in my artistic thought, and all my works had a little bit of a playful or something like that intrigues good emotions. I think that this is, let's say, as an artist, this is what I would like to do currently. And because of this winter and because of this uncomfort that I feel as a Greek in Estonia, I still want to continue this idea. It's not something bothers me, but at the same time, I think that this is something that can take different forms throughout the time. Maybe at some point another material, I don't know, but I would like to continue working in this idea. Nothing bothers me at the moment.
Sander, does something bother you?
At the moment, lack of time always bothers me, but no, not really. Nothing that I can say that I want to make an exhibition out of this. This bothers me so much. Probably it's more like no, because I don't know. Well, again, I haven't made an exhibition for 20 years that I've been doing art, so this is the first. Come on, you might also have to wait another 20 years or not. I don't know, but I'm not rushing into it at all. I got plenty of things to do anyway.
But are there any other ways we can see something you have done, or you will not do anything? You will hibernate for 20 years and then you will make another exhibition.
Let's see. I'm a student right now for the most part, so that takes up a lot of time, and yeah, I don't have that great artistic ambition. I think I kind of love it. I like to do it, but no, there are, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not so ambitious artistic, I guess.
But next to artistic ambition, to have some technical ambition or some conceptual ambition, because you were really dedicatedly trying to solve some problems doing your MA process. Are there any problems like that bother you? Something you want to solve, something where you want to get better, something which is not done in Estonia so much that you would like to?
I think whatever I do, I try to maybe communicate one thing, that let's do it let's do it like properly. That don't for me, I think the best way to do good to the world. Wow, what a sentence! But to repair maybe some things that I find and lots of people find probably bad, is not to follow or kind of organize ourselves into campaigns that have big words, but just common sense says a lot, and quality and common sense probably will cure so many troubles. And let's just be let's not buy everything that is a little bit cheaper, or let's not create another bunch of papers with another how to say big kuidas on siis, how is it, declaration of something. We don't need it actually. We kind of understand what is common sense and what is needed. I mean, there are so many examples. I'm not going to probably give, but let's just be a little bit more quality, like do a little bit more quality stuff.
All right, I think it's a really good slogan to finish it. Let's do more quality stuff. Okay, thank you, Ismini, and thank you, Sander.